Hey everybody, welcome to Lesser Saints Discord. We are the Lesser Saints Discord. I'm Jables. With me as always is Rimshee and Sir's watching.
Yep, that's me.
Yeah.
Return to the attic where I belong.
This week, no swear words.
Well, we're gonna try. Probably fail, but we're gonna
We'll
try.
see how long that lasts.
Well, we're gonna keep it like PG-ish. Like, damn is okay, but no S's and no F's.
I mean, I can
Especially
turn
you,
my stuff
Jables,
off.
with your specialty F word.
Yeah, we're not doing neither of the two F's and no S's.
I'm pretty sure there's more than two.
What, flagrant?
We're also not going to be using any D word.
Yeah,
we're not Australia.
We're not doing See You Next Tuesdays. We're not doing which is going to be hard based on... We're doing a bunch of Dear Abbeys also today. And
Looks like your mom's the first one watching anyway, so it's a good thing we're explaining this.
Huh?
We're not going to talk about male chickens getting slurped.
Oh, yeah. My mom is watching. Hey, Mom, happy birthday. And that's why we're doing
Happy birthday, Jables' mom.
Happy birthday, Mama Jables.
No. We're going to be doing some Dear Abbeys today. Yeah, Mom, how old are you now?
Might talk about
27?
some recent events.
Are we going to talk about recent events?
You're
That
not
could lead
supposed to
to
ask
swearing.
women their age, Jables.
All I know is I may have to randomly disappear because the wife is on a bachelorette party. She's coming back today, and she won't be back until like an hour and a half after the show.
Yeah.
Gotta look after your spawn. We get it.
Yeah, you got like.
Yeah, I'm currently watching him play in his room because I've got a camera set up in there.
What happened
Oh,
to you, man?
another
You used to
factor.
be cool.
Another factor, if I do swear, I have to eat one of the super spicy beans. Or potentially super spicy beans. I have to eat one of the fiery 5 beans at random.
Yep.
Yeah.
Only one of them's particularly spicy.
And you know what? I think,
Man, the habanero
I
one
think
was
the
spicy.
spice- I think the Carolina Reaper spice, it was just more spicy because I was expecting sriracha.
Yeah. I said, like, it wasn't nearly as bad as the chip. Like,
No. I had to walk away and get some water, but other than that, like, it was manageable. Alright.
I think I accidentally got the last one there.
What? Yeah. Anyways. So you guys want to do a Dear Abby, or you want to talk about this pop culture placard for Kurt Cobain?
I don't know. Let's just go straight into the controversy, I guess. Just get it out of the way.
Yeah, because I have opinions about this.
Manage expectations or whatever the fuck they... Oh, God. Ah! Sorry. I am not eating those beans. I will go put a quarter in the swear jar.
You didn't even
Yeah.
last 5 minutes, dude.
I'm also
Yeah.
a Marine.
Of all... No, I'm a degenerate.
Dude,
I should have said it before you, dude.
I'm pretty sure of the three of us that I have the worst swearing habit, but I can turn mine off when I want to.
I think I probably have the worst swearing habit.
I at least stopped before I finished it, but that still wasn't good.
No, you finished it. You said it. I heard it.
I did not do the C. I stopped before the C.
I don't know.
I don't know, man.
I think if you were to, like, go over since I've joined this show and just, like, averaged out number of F-bombs dropped between us, I'm probably in the lead.
That's probably effing true.
Where's Crab? Because he's autistic enough to actually do that for us.
Oh, no. It's like, hey, Crab, go back and watch, like, hundreds of hours and give us a figure. Put it on a graph.
I'm contemplating, like, paying him to make clips for us. So it can
We'd have to make money for that to be worth anything.
It'll be an investment for my own job. I don't know. He has a good eye for clips.
He does.
He made like 10 of them out of last week's show.
Yeah.
Well, last week's show was a clip master.
Yeah. All right. Anyways, this
One of my
article.
favorite of the old clips that he did was like clipping me talking about how all Asians are racist.
They are though.
Yeah, I know.
Nobody calls them out for it.
That was
It's
the
weird.
same clip. That was the same clip where I got that has me comparing Puerto Ricans to Filipinos to Mexicans. But they're basically the Mexico of Asia.
Oh yeah, yeah, because they were conquered by the Spanish and they're super Catholic and.
Well, they were conquered by the Spanish, and then we beat the Spanish in the Spanish-American War and kicked them out of the Philippines. Because American imperialism, baby.
All right. Anyways, let's talk about how they're how people are censoring themselves on placards now, I guess. Mopop criticized for Nirvana exhibit placard saying Kurt Cobain unalived himself. Last month, Dublin's National Wax Museum Plus was under fire for a distasteful wax figure of Sinead O'Connor, which was placed in the Star Wars section for some reason. Didn't need that information. Now, Seattle's Museum of Pop Culture is facing criticism for a Nirvana exhibition that says Kurt Cobain unalived himself.
Is that the actual words, or is this like just the article afraid to use the S word?
No, that's the actual words
that's
on
the actual
plaque.
words on the exhibit.
Oh my.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a meme based on this stuff. I caught myself. But it's supposed to be a meme based on this sort of stuff, and they're turning it into reality.
Also, I hate the whole like censoring yourself by saying unalive. There are a million ways to say killed. Kick the bucket. Offed. I don't know. You guys got a couple more? Kick the bucket. Off.
Punched his own ticket.
Yeah, punched his own ticket.
Checked out early.
Went to the beyond. Left this world.
Violently
Found
noped
himself 6
out.
feet under. You know, like
self-resignation.
Yeah.
Or resigned from life. That's a good way to do.
Oh,
he resigned from life.
Yeah.
But yeah, the algorithm stuff on YouTube is a bit ridiculous in that regard.
Well,
It's just like, it's something that people do, you know.
well,
It's a meme.
It comes from TikTok. This is going to explain it. The term unalived originated on TikTok, where the algorithm bans users for words like suicide. However, that language is manifested in the real world so much that it's in this Nirvana exhibit saying Cobain unalived himself at 27. Another placard explains the use of the term, reading, "We recognize the dynamic nature of pop culture and its role shaping language and social discourse. In the digital age, social media influences how online communities engage in discussions, particularly around sensitive subjects like mental health. One example is the term unalive, which has emerged online to describe death by suicide or homicide. Users on social media platforms created this term to navigate around algorithms that censor content related to mental health and explicit topics." Okay, so I do have one thing to say about this. There's a musician by the name of Ren from the UK. He has a song called Suicide. He also has a song called Murderer. YouTube had zero problems with his song Murderer, and that being the title. But he got flagged for a bunch of content stuff for his song Suicide. So he had to change it to SU exclamation point CIDE.
Suicide. Suicide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I
the
mean,
song
it's
Murderer,
just...
he literally talks about murdering people. And in his song
It's just
Suicide,
so...
he's describing like the feelings of like depression and stuff. And and the end of the song is talking about how much he regrets his friend who actually did commit suicide, like he wasn't there for him enough. Like,
Yeah, I regret that friend.
yeah.
It's just so... It's pansy. I hate how pansy it is anymore.
Yeah, especially since there have been other euphemisms like getting your ticket punched. That can be used both ways too. He got his ticket punched. He punched his own ticket. Either way, he's checked out from life.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, that's another one.
It's like... Oh, it's just like... No, I call it pansy because just like, you know, it's like, oh, you know, like, it's a sensitive subject matter. It's just like, it's reality.
It should be sensitive, which is why you shouldn't shy away from it.
Okay? Yeah, it's like, this is why you can't be a pansy about it and dance around the issue and put on your kid gloves. No, it's suicide. It sucks, but it's reality.
Well, I honestly think he was murdered by Courtney Love. She hired someone.
I knew you were going to bring that up, but...
The wife also is a firm believer in that.
Still on.
If the wife was here and not driving home from the bachelorette party, yeah, she would be in the exact same boat. She'd be running in here screaming about how it's all Courtney Love, and she'd go on a tirade.
Of course, you know, I also have the objection to it because it's just another example of degradation of language.
Yeah,
words have meanings.
Well, it's a lot like 1984. They said like doublespeak and like the degradation of language, and it's double plus ungood. It means it's very bad, but you're not allowed to say bad. It's just double plus ungood.
You know, like like, I understand, like, from the viewpoint of content creators, like, especially like YouTubers and stuff, where the platform has basically financially incentivized you at this point to go about talking about the subject of suicide in a very pansy, beat around the bush way.
Yeah. And
it's a word. It's a word that has a specific meaning.
Yeah, and
it's the appropriate word.
Like I said, with Ren, he had troubles uploading his song about suicide, but he had zero problems uploading Murderer, where he talks about literally killing people.
Yeah,
he hasn't actually. It's just a song. It's all
and
pretend,
unironically, unironically, what this does is it trivializes it.
That's kind of the point we're getting at Mama Jables.
It makes it less real. It's not.
Yeah. It's like by not allowing people to actually talk about this thing, by like saying like that's a bad word and you can't use it because we say so. It's like, well, again, like you're literally just you're taking the seriousness away from the subject. You're taking the gravity away from it by not even allowing people to talk about it.
Yeah.
I could understand for some kids' videos not including it, but there's a huge difference between, oh yeah, this is for a 3-year-old, and this is a serious discussion about how, unfortunately common it is for the best, or maybe not best, but the most popular singers and songwriters and artists to, punch their own ticket or get their ticket punched at 27 or prior.
Yeah.
And Jables, your mom is absolutely right, but that's exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah. It's not an online exhibit or YouTube vid.
Even if it was an online exhibit or YouTube video, it should be used.
Yeah.
And
even then, he unalived himself is still just cringe.
Yeah.
They could have put on the poster, on the plaque, like, he offed himself. He ended his own life.
Took his own life. Yeah, something like that. Something unambiguous, but not as forceful. Because the whole point of the museum isn't necessarily to push that narrative, to push that conversation, to push the conversation, but at the same time, saying unalive is so dystopian. I get exactly why people are comparing it to 1984.
And it's childish. It's entirely childish.
I'm pretty sure the whole reason Unalive came into being was to be a commentary on the 1984 newspeak, Orwellian newspeak aspect that TikTok was pushing, and it just became parlance.
Yeah.
Well, specifically pushing in the West, because TikTok in China is not what we get here.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's. I don't know, maybe that's why we don't get viewers, because we talk about suicide a lot on this channel.
The thing is, like, you need to be able to talk about it with all the seriousness that it deserves.
And it deserves seriousness.
Forcing people to self-censor themselves about this topic has the result of trivializing tragedy, and that is a terrible precedent to set.
Yeah. By the way, I'm still waiting for somebody to Nick and I were talking about this the other day. We still have yet to find somebody that has been helped by the suicide hotline that wasn't just out of pure incompetence and just laughing at the incompetence, and that made them decide not to kill themselves that night because they thought shit was so ridiculous. God. All right.
I'm gonna make it my mission now that I'm gonna get through this without doing a swear.
I'll say that one F-bomb counted, but it was still only a partial. But it does count. Because I had every intent of saying it right until halfway through.
Yeah. I said, because I know I can. I have the self-control.
I like to think I do too.
I mean, very recent events prove otherwise. The vast majority of the time that we're doing this, I'm doing it, like for me. I'm going to talk how I want to talk.
Yeah.
Because this is me time, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, if the audience is entertained by it too, that's great.
I got the Carolina Reaper. Yeah. Anyways, the suicide hotline, I have yet to meet anybody that for anybody that doesn't know, I've called the suicide hotline, and
I have
the guy was just like, what do you want me to do about it? You want me to call the cops, do a wellness check or something? Like, no, it's a suicide hotline.
If that's what I wanted, that's what I would have done. Jeez.
Yeah. Are you dumb? Like I'm supposed to call this to talk to somebody, right?
I need you to talk me down, man.
The one I talked to is even worse because they're like, well, are you suicidal right now?
Yes, that's why I'm calling.
Yeah.
And I was so dumbstruck by that answer that I just ended up hanging up.
It's a hotline.
You wanted to. Yeah. That one almost came out. It's like, nope.
Yeah, and then when Nick called, it was some mall cop working late night security. He's like, hey, can I call you back in a bit? I gotta go make my rounds. I'll call you back in like 20 minutes. It's like, what?
Oh yeah, the ones that are like volunteer-based ones are really fun.
At least those are, you have a possibility of getting someone who cares.
Maybe.
I said possibility. It may be a 1% chance, but it's still a chance.
Yeah. I mean, the incompetence just baffles me, and I honestly believe that their incompetence is the reason why they're so successful, because it seems so ridiculous when you call them and they care so little, or they're just like extremely dismissive and then like, yeah, whatever. It seems so outrageous. I think that is their actual business plan, is to be incompetent.
Well, yeah, it's like
we do
like you call up
the service. No, you don't.
You call up and you basically get like what Jables is describing, like the experience of it's like, okay, do it, I guess. Whatever. I don't really care.
Yeah.
And like,
it's
almost out of spite. Out of spite, you're just like, well, maybe I won't then.
Yeah. It's literally the energy of, well, what do you want me to do about it? Like, I don't know. This is kind of your thing.
I would love if one of them would just like straight up admit, it's like, man, I ain't getting paid for this.
Yeah. But anyways, unaliving is dumb.
It's cringe. It trivializes
It's
tragedy,
bonkers.
and I hate it. I just hate it. Use words. We have words for things.
Yeah.
Stop being a pansy.
Embrace a vocabulary. That's why we're
To
not
quote,
swearing. We use other words.
To either quote or paraphrase Dead Poet Society, language was invented to woo women. Use it.
Yeah. We sit in the caves and read poetry and let the language drip from our tongues like honey.
Also, just grow a pair. Seriously, people.
Yeah. Hey,
You know, like, if you're so mentally infirm that even hearing someone mention the word suicide puts you in a state, you've got issues that you seriously need to address.
go to therapy.
And like issues like that are not anyone else's problem. You need to sort that out. That's not on anybody else.
You know, I got a message from somebody one time saying that they were uncomfortable with me talking about my issues on the show one time.
That's nice. Don't watch.
Yeah. My show, my issues, my choice to talk about them. Go screw.
Yeah, the only people who have a say are myself and Sir, and we bully him enough that we'll let it slide.
Yeah. You guys are the reason I'm depressed. I'm joking.
That's such a lie.
For legal reasons, that's a joke. For legal reasons, that's a joke.
You are such a word I can't say right now.
Can't say it because we're on Twitch, or can't say it because we're not swearing today.
Would it ever stop me if it wasn't because we weren't swearing today?
Hey, James,
All right, let's what?
be quiet, you got.
Ooh, that's a clever workaround.
Also, you're only half, so.
Yeah.
Some people will get that joke.
None of them are here.
Except maybe Dina.
So anyway, what's next?
Let's do some advice. Let's have some fun. We've
All right.
gone through the heavy
Okay.
subject.
Hopefully this won't be rage-inducing.
Again.
Um,
Which one are we doing?
Because the last time we did this was really bad.
Oh yeah, that was
really
so
bad.
rage-inducing.
yeah, some of these are pretty bad.
Yeah, I read
to
the
be
titles
clear,
for some of these.
not
I'm just
bad.
like, oof.
To be clear, not bad in the sense of, wow, why are you sending this into an advice column? More, wow, how the hell did she give that sort of advice?
yeah.
It was legitimately baffling how terrible that was.
That's happened
Right,
several times.
Yeah, which one are we doing?
I don't know. Do you want to go relationships, or do you want to do the husband buying lunch? Which ones are you looking at, Rimshee?
Well, right now, the two I was just looking at, we've got friends with benefits, we've got husbands, buy her husband's lunch.
The dating my ex-husband one seems insane.
If my son brings both oh, we covered that one.
Did we?
Did we?
I think so.
I don't remember that.
Because that was.
I've got no memory of that
That
one.
was for last week's show, but we were too busy doing Bean Boozled.
And Jables was dying.
All right, give me a moment. I'm gonna check something.
Are you gonna quickly
Yeah, like,
scrub through last week's episode to see if we covered it?
No.
The thing is like,
Oh,
I don't think
this
we did,
is
'cause, like-
this one is different, but it's the same. It looks like it's the same basic thing, but we could cover it.
Okay.
because the thing
Wait,
is
which
like
one?
when we do them, it's like you and me are pretty much right on it, Rimshee. Like if we didn't do it, then you and I are both fully in agreement. But I have no memory of this one, so.
Yeah. So the wait, which one again?
So it's if my son brings both his girlfriends.
Oh yeah.
Should we do that one with your mom here?
I don't mind.
All right, we can do that one. I'm queued up, ready to go if you are.
All right.
Yeah, I've got
Sarah,
it.
you want to
pulled
take it away?
up. Dear Lesser Saints, my 25-year-old son lives with his two girlfriends who are also romantically involved with each other. They share a single bedroom. One of them has a baby due this week, and the other has made noises about wanting a child. I don't approve of this arrangement and can't see it ending well. I love my son and I have
time out. We definitely have not done this on the show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this I have no memory of this.
Yeah, that's why I said it's very similar to one, but that one didn't have one of them pregnant.
Yeah. Anyways, keep going, sir.
I remember the one that you're talking about, Rimshee, where the chick had a younger boyfriend that got a girlfriend that was also living with her.
No, it was one
Yeah.
very similar to this one, where it was, but it was a mom.
I don't remember that personally, but anyway,
Go ahead, continue.
I love my son and I have a good relationship with all three of them, but it flies in the face of my upbringing and beliefs. My question, how do I deal with this threesome if they come stay at my house? I don't want this going on under my roof, but I don't know how to assign bedrooms. If it were just two of them in a committed relationship, I could suck it up and put them together, but all three? I think my son knows me well enough to hopefully make that decision before coming here. I'm afraid if I have to assign bedrooms according to my convictions, it will lead to a falling out. Any advice? Conflicted dad in Ohio.
Yeah,
All right.
So this
My
is
advice.
This is a father in this case.
Yeah.
My advice.
I could totally understand divvying up
It's-
into separate rooms. I could totally understand that. The girls share a
Yeah.
room,
Well,
and then
especially
your son.
for the pregnant one, she might want her own room.
Yeah. But you have your son in his own room, and he doesn't get to spend the night with either of his girlfriends. I could totally understand that. It's your house, your rules. If they did this weird marriage thing, or if it was, it also does depend on how long of a relationship it has been for all three of them.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't
they
know
definitely
how
have a
long it.
polyamory thing going along, but it's. I don't know. The way you're describing it, it seems like it's going well.
It seems like it's going well, but also, how long have they been together? Your son is 25. We don't know how old either of the girls are. And we don't know if this has been like, oh, they've been together since high school, or, yeah, they got together in the last year, or even, hey, maybe the pregnant girlfriend isn't even pregnant with his kid. there's a lot of unknowns here.
I'm also assuming they're roughly the same age. I'm not. At the youngest, they might be like 21, 22.
Honestly, the best thing I could say is the dad and the son need to have a conversation.
Yeah.
Flat out, they just need to have a conversation. They need to discuss this, and they need to come to an understanding of, hey, I'm not trying to interfere with your relationship, but just understand that this, if you were to bring all of them here, this would push the bounds of my faith. And I just need you to...
Also, if you have enough rooms in your house to split them up, minimum. Yeah, give them all their own rooms, but don't necessarily demand that they have to sleep in their own rooms. But for sure, your son and the pregnant woman maybe separate rooms so that the pregnant one can like go and have some privacy and like hang out and stuff.
Well, I don't even know if that's...
It depends how far along she is, also.
It really depends. That one's I think you're thinking of it from a perspective that doesn't actually make as much sense as you think. Pregnant woman having her own room is not necessarily the go-to answer.
It's not necessarily the go-to answer, but I also... my mom actually has a good point. Son should have an idea of how dad would feel, separate rooms, or if son is adamant about staying with them, get a hotel room.
Yeah, and Dina has a point. Dina has a point, which is the one I'm trying to make. It doesn't make as much sense to have her be on her own. It actually makes more sense for the pregnant one to be with the son than it is to be without the son.
Yeah, no, I'm saying have an option for a separate room if she wants, like, some privacy. But yeah, the pregnant one should definitely be able to be with the son.
Yeah, you've never had to spend 24 hours with 7 days a week with a pregnant woman, and it shows.
Yes, I have, but
not as the significant other, at least.
No, not as the significant other. All right. Pregnant woman's needs, top tier. Whatever she wants, she gets. Let's do that.
No, because even that comes down to a situation of now dad is put in a position where he has to violate his own feelings in his own house if she demands it. Basically, what it comes down to is the dad and the son should have a conversation. Come to an understanding of where everyone stands, and just be adults about it.
Giving the second girlfriend another room, I think, is more understandable. But your son already got this girl pregnant.
We don't know that for sure.
Nothing
Never
else.
specifies that it is his son's kid.
Yeah, I think it's implied, and I'm gonna take it at that.
It's implied, but it's not stated, so we can't. It says, one of them has a baby due this week. This was whatever week this was. This was July 24th. It's just one of those things where
happy birthday
modern day, you're talking about a relationship with two girls, one guy. You don't know if it's full-on polyamory or if it's just a threesome, or not. Sorry, not threesome, a throuple. So there's a lot of questions there. It could be one of the side dudes one of the boy toys kids. You don't know. Once you get out of the straight up monogamistic, once you get out of straight up monogamy, it's a lot easier to say I have no idea, even though it's probably roughly as likely in a monogamous relationship as it is outside of one that it's someone else's kid.
I don't know. Wait. I understand the dad's sentiment, because as soon as I read like the relationship dynamic, I'm just like, I don't know about that. It sounds like a lot of problems just waiting to happen.
It can be. It depends on the relationship. So, Tina, the reason I'm making a point about whose child it is, the only reason, is because that may be part of the conflict in the dad. We don't know.
Yeah. That's the problem.
Again, this is why the dad and the son need to have an adult conversation and deal with it that way.
Yeah, I think we've gone on about this.
The first couple deer.
Tina, the big issue is that in most of these, they're meant to make in a lot of these are less bad than Am I the A-hole Reddits.
Yeah.
But it's very similar in that it's the person asking the question is trying to put themselves in the best light. So it's easy enough to assume that this person is actually a lot more upset by this than they're actually putting on. Especially with the fact that they're making a point of saying, I love my son and have a good relationship with all three of them. It's probably not as good as he's claiming. He's not saying my grandkid, just that one of them has a baby due this week. So either he's not approving of the out-of-marriage affair, or it's not his son's kid. And since we don't have that information, these do come into factor with how the dad is feeling. And it comes down, it still comes down to the same response. The kid and the dad need to have a conversation like adults and work things out like adults. It doesn't change that.
Yeah.
But part of this is reading into it a little bit, trying to find out all the actual details. Because sometimes that can affect the ending. It just doesn't in this case.
Well, yeah, we've run into that a few times with these. I feel like we started doing these Dear Abbeys. The first ones we did, lots of information. It felt like we got like all sides of the story, and we were able to give like really good advice. Lately, though, I've been seeing these Dear Abbeys, and they're reading more like Am I the A-hole type stories.
Well, let's see what Abby had to say on the matter. Dear Dad, discuss your feelings with your son as soon as he tells you he and his extended family want to stay at your home. Explain that what goes on in his dwelling is his business, but in your home you prefer the three of them, or four once the baby arrives, not share one room, and let him decide where everyone sleeps. This would include staying in a hotel or motel during their visit, which might be more comfortable for them.
You know what? Best
Solid
advice
response.
I've seen Abby give. Thumbs up.
Yeah. Pretty solid
much
advice.
Reiterated what we said.
Yeah, we just took longer to say it because we're working through the problem as we're reading it.
We've been doing this for weeks now, and Abby has given awful advice on a lot of stuff.
Yeah, she's Abby or Annie or whatever version we're talking about. Whatever version we're talking about, has given such bad advice that
No.
given such bad advice that it requires swear words to properly describe it in certain cases.
Yeah, we've done full like 20-minute rants yelling at Abby or Annie or whatever iteration.
I said the last one that we did, the "she's not your real mom" one, that one infuriated me.
Oh yeah, that one was.
Yeah.
Again,
that
requires
one.
a swear word or several swear words to properly describe my feelings on it.
Yeah, she was a real see you next Tuesday.
It's like, it's the most brain dead response that I could have possibly imagined for that scenario.
Yeah, I think I was yelling into the mic on that one.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah,
remember.
I wasn't controlling my volume very well on that one either.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, at one point I'm just like, what is wrong with you?
Silent. There's silence out in the living room. I will be back.
Yep, silence
when
is
a
bad.
child is silent, that means that there's violence. That's...
Well, yeah, that's just the thing. Is just like, man, it's quiet. Where are the kids?
Yeah. Or in my mom's case, it's quiet. We locked them out of the house.
I need a moment.
Um.
I need to go get my shop back.
Okay. We will carry on.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'm gonna
this
scroll
next-
down so you guys can read the next one. And yeah.
This next one is interesting, Jables.
I haven't read it at all yet, so.
I think I'm just gonna go straight into this one
All right, go for it.
because this one's kind of complicated. Dear Lesser Saints, after 40 years, I just started talking to my daughter again. I explained why I hadn't been in her life, which was not at all what her father had told her. He told her I abandoned her and her brother and wanted nothing more to do with them. This is not true. Those kids were my life. Now she can't understand why her father lied to them all these years. I have no idea how to comfort her or even build a relationship after all this. I gave birth to her brother at 15 and to her at 16. Their father was older and very controlling. We live in different states, which doesn't help. I have never stopped loving and missing my kids. I've asked multiple people for suggestions, and they have nothing to offer. Any advice would be greatly appreciated. Reconnecting in Tennessee. That's the complicated
Okay,
one.
so this is a mother.
Yeah.
Okay.
Man, 40 years.
Yeah.
I might need to sit and think on
I've
that.
asked multiple people for
This one for a minute.
suggestions, and they have nothing to offer. I couldn't. 15 and 16, so your kids after 40 years, you're in your 50s, so your kids are in their 40s. I don't know, audience. Any advice? Because I don't really have much other than, I don't know, talk to them.
That is a valid point, Mama Jables. I feel like I'm feeling like our poster here is not giving us nearly enough information to work with here.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's 15 and 16. Drugs might have been involved, but also she might have been manipulated by this older man.
You did mention that he was controlling.
Yeah.
But that also, it's seeming like he's the one that ended up with custody. She doesn't explicitly state that, but that's what it seems like she's saying.
That's totally what it is. Yeah.
And, just like, it's getting a bit more common now, but especially at the time that this would have been happening, it's unusual for a father to get full custody.
It's becoming more and more common.
Well, as I
But
said,
yeah,
like this would have been like 40.
if you're
This would have been
having kids
40
at
years
15 and
ago.
16, I'm thinking drugs might be involved.
Goodness gracious.
What? What? Oh, okay, to talk to me. I said the fact that this happened 40 years ago, and it was the father that got custody, that's unusual. So it definitely makes me think that there's a lot that she's not telling us.
The getting in contact now implies to me like a lot of drug or alcohol abuse issues. And that's why you weren't allowed to have contact with them, essentially. Because the courts generally side in the mother's favor.
Yeah, especially then.
Yeah. Yeah, 40 years ago.
My grandfather on my mother's side, he was actually one of the first men in the state of Indiana to get full custody of his children.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to go into the full details of it on the show. I can tell you in like Rimshee afterwards. But yeah, like that one ended up coming down to the judge at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm jumping in because I said a thing in stream chat, but it's a thought. So this guy's older. I was kind of out of the room when y'all were talking about it, but I basically heard it. Do we know how much older the guy is than the mom?
No.
Okay. So I'm wondering.
I'm assuming he was in his 20s. Just by
Right.
the description.
Right. So she's a teenager.
We don't even know if he's still around based on what she gave us.
Right. So per what she's talking about, she got pregnant and had babies really young. That's like in my opinion, too young to be starting your family. That's pretty young because you're still developing. So it makes me wonder if the dad to her kids was like, hey, look, and like you guys said, I'm guessing that there's probably some substance abuse in that. There's probably also some postpartum depression that probably didn't really get caught or treated very well, treated properly. And so dad ends up saying, oh, well, which is also an asshole move because you should never badmouth the other parent to the kids because it's not good for the kids because kids know that part of them comes from that person.
Yeah.
It's a thing I say all the time.
It makes the kids think that they're part bad.
Right. And the whole thing of like, oh, I don't want to turn out like my mother, or I don't want to turn out like my father, that kind of thing. Although sometimes if it's a healthy like, hey, look, mom's going through a thing, when they get old enough, if mom's like doing drugs or drinking, then tell the kids when it's, age appropriate. But don't say, oh, your mom abandoned you, because kids are going to take that as I wasn't good enough. And then as an adult, they're going to realize, oh, that had nothing to do with me. And then that parent is going to be the world's biggest a-hole, which might be appropriate. I don't know,
And like, there's another thing that I was just thinking about here. It's like, obviously, it's like, unfortunately, so common today that like most people don't even really bat an eye at it. But like 40 years ago, like if you were pregnant at 15, that kind of was like taboo. It was like you get some social ostracization for that.
Yeah. Well,
all right, I'm back.
It's
no,
definitely
I gotta go again.
too young. Oh my god. Okay.
God damn it, Rimshee.
Hey, that's the life of a parent. Just sometimes you gotta go.
Yeah, but
Sometimes you got to deal with stuff.
Yeah, sometimes you think you got a situation handled, and then you find out, oh no, I don't, and then you gotta go back.
Yeah, but don't tease me like that, saying I'm back, and then just instantly go back away. That's...
Jables. See, I made the comment in the stream chat when you were talking about how, oh, I've been around pregnant women, and like my comment was, yeah, but not as the one who did this to me. There is a difference between like family members or friends that are there helping you and supporting you, and then there's the one that helped cause this. You know? So
yeah, I've never gotten anybody pregnant.
Yeah.
Well,
as far as I know, anyway.
Right, I was gonna say, I mean, you don't know about it. You might find out in a few more years when you get a phone call or a letter or a knock on your door going, hi, are you beep? I think you might be my dad.
I saw that when I was working at Walmart. I saw this one girl with a kid, and I was like, that kid has my hair.
Well.
Okay, just skimming Abby's response. I'm already seeing problems with it.
All right, let's go through it.
All right.
Dear Reconnecting, it is wonderful that after all these years you have finally been able to make a connection with your daughter. Please take it slowly, one step at a time.
That's fine.
She will need to understand how young you were when she and her brother were born, and the imbalance of power in your relationship with their older and controlling father. Your daughter should know you always wanted her in your life, but that the estrangement was their father's punishment for you.
We don't know.
Already, we've jumped to a major assumption here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Reinforce that you never stopped loving, missing, or thinking about them, and they are part of you. Living in different states may make things more challenging, but you may be able to establish a friendship and visit your daughter in the future. Not how I would have worded that.
Right.
No, that's yeah. The problem that I have is in the Dear Abby portion, they don't say how the kids went to him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much that we didn't get there.
Yeah,
and
there's
unfortunately, this is just another case that I've noticed. We've seen it with a lot of Dear Abbies that we've done, involving like anything with like relationships, is that the vast majority of the time, then the Dear Abby's response, like no matter how it was phrased or like the tone of the ask, like the man is always the villain.
Yeah.
I'm so sick of that because there are so many good guys in the world. And let me tell you, there are some women who are definitely the villain, and it's not cute. It's just not cute.
No. Well, we've even done a few Dear Abbeys where the woman was obviously the villain, and it's like, in Dear Abby, it's like, you go, girl. It's like, no.
Oh my god!
Don't do that.
Yeah, our very first one was about a woman who felt intimidated because she kept losing arguments with her husband, so she secretly got an apartment that he didn't know about to get away from him.
Yeah, her husband kept winning arguments, so she thought he was intimidating and didn't want to be around him anymore because he kept winning arguments.
What doesn't she do like Jables and I do when we get into a debate? Because I won't call it an argument. We don't get into a lot of arguments, but we do debate things. And like, why doesn't she take it as a learning moment? You know, like, I hate the term mansplaining, although it does happen, but women do womansplaining too. It's just a thing that happens. Like, take the points that are real, that are true, learn from them, stick them in your little databank, and then the next time you're dealing with the thing, pull it up. Because, you know, sometimes people are just trying to tell you what's real.
Yeah, and that's how I win every argument.
You don't win every argument.
I'm joking.
You win, like, probably, I don't know,
we're about
90% of them?
I think, at this point.
Are we? Okay, cool. Well, see, I was gonna be a lot more generous to you and be like 90%. But
yeah, I'll take
like,
90%.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you
All
will.
right. I am back this time.
All right.
Are you
Quick
sure?
explanation. Kid got into the fireplace.
Ooh.
That's fun. Lots of cool actors.
I don't know if
So-
you could hear me, but I went, oh no!
I heard
Shortly after
something.
I walked away, I went, oh no! I don't know if you could hear me or not.
So
No, we couldn't.
So there's a link on this page that makes me very curious.
I do have thoughts on this though.
Yeah,
I'll
let's get
put
your
in
thoughts
my-
first before I.
I'll put in my couple of cents.
Now that he's got his junior chimney sweep under control.
It's a wood burning stove too, so it's got a lot of ash.
Oh no!
And it was all over
boy.
him and the floor.
Did you let-
Wednesday.
Did you let him watch Mary Poppins?
No, the wife has though.
Yeah. He just wants to be
anyway.
like Dick Van Dyke, but
Chris
better
is just
actor.
like, it wasn't me, it was the woman.
Of course.
Typical man. Typical.
That
man.
being said, my opinions on this is I don't get the feeling she is being honest with us, even in what she's saying.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah, 'cause
I think there's a lot.
40 years ago, not having custody of your children as a woman is outrageous.
I said
Yeah.
it's very unusual.
As much as I disagree with the father claiming that mom abandoned her kids, I do think that's more likely to be the truth. Because even when you
Or
don't
closer
have
to
full
it, at
custody, even when you don't have full custody, you do have unless they take away your parental rights, which could be a thing, but that takes some effort when you're a woman 40 years ago.
Well, yeah, but as Mama Jable
so-
pointed out in the chat earlier, it's like, why didn't she push for visitation?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, the fact that she was she had her had custody go to custody of the kids go to dad. That's a red flag in her situation.
Well,
The
she had
fact
the kids when she was a teenager, and he was. I'm assuming he was in his 20s at this point.
At which point, that's still that's still pretty sketchy, considering that would mean it would have been statutory,
Depends
grape.
on the state.
Oops, sorry. Sorry, I said it. Oh.
Yeah,
we can do that.
it doesn't matter.
We said
Actually, that doesn't
suicide a
matter.
bunch earlier.
At 15 and 16, that wouldn't matter. The Romeo and Juliet laws are like 18, 19, if they're 16 or 17.
Yeah,
For the most part. If he's in his 20s, if he's in his 20s, that's not going to be a situation where the courts are going to look at that and go, "Ah, that's fine." That's gonna...
Yeah, but it's not all Romeo and Juliet laws. Like Washington State, age of consent is 16.
Yeah, but still, her brother was born at 15. Her brother was born at 15.
Okay, and he might have been 20 at the time.
Yeah,
19.
that's what
Oh,
you're
no.
claiming. That's still not within the legal age of
This
consent.
This is all things that I'm just sort of inferring by her saying that he was older and stuff. I'm assuming that.
Yeah,
he
you're
was,
making
like,
assumptions, and
19 or 20.
my point is, if those assumptions are true, he would most likely be in jail for the for statutory based on the older brother.
Not at that time, based on the state. It depends on the state, based in like.
Yeah,
He would
she's
not
in
have-
Tennessee. She's in Tennessee.
Yeah,
but-
their age of consent is like 14.
No, it's
Is
not.
it?
It's
not
not.
that
There
low.
is no.
I'm joking.
The
I'm joking.
only state, the only state to still have a legal age of consent at 14, as far back as gave that up at like 2015 or somewhere around there, and that was Hawaii.
Oh my
All
goodness.
states
They
in the
live
union,
Hawaii.
all states in the U.S. now have a legal age of consent of at least 16.
Yeah.
And the only
Yeah,
reason I know about
so,
Hawaii is
why-
because
why-
during our briefs while I was in the military, it was age of consent in the military is 16 or the legal age of consent of the location you're in, whichever is higher. And they specifically brought up Hawaii as an example.
All right, you seem to be pretty knowledgeable about age of consent. So what are you doing?
Nothing.
What are you doing, Richie? You seem pretty
But-
knowledgeable about it.
What are you implying?
He's preparing for the possibility of someday being a girl dad.
Well, that's what we're hoping for on our next go, so.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So you got to be prepared. No matter what state you're in, you got to know the legal age, and you got to be prepared to.
But
Yeah,
even
once
so,
you have a girl, you're gonna move to a state where the age of consent is 21. I get it.
but
Yeah,
even
like-
still, if he's in his 20s, there's some dubious nature to that, even in states where there's a legal age of consent at 16. And she
This is about
specifically
half.
said she had her at 16, not that she got pregnant at 16.
Right. But so
So,
she may
saying
have been
he's that much...
16 when she got
She
pregnant
just
with
says the father was older. Older could be he was 16 at the birth of their son and 17 at the birth of their daughter. So, which seems more likely to me.
Yeah.
But
Well, he
the
might have
fact
been
that
18.
right,
I said
but
we're-
the
we're-
fact that he got
We're all
custody
making
of
assumptions
the,
now.
Yeah, we're
right, but the fact that he
because
got
we don't have the fucking info. And if I could finish my goddamn statements.
okay,
Your
You
statements
stopped.
aren't
Hold on,
important.
hold on. You stopped talking, so we jumped in to talk because you stopped talking.
I did not
we
stop
thought
talking.
you-
You jumped in, Jables. Crab, clip that.
I don't think Crab's here right now.
it's crowd
I
even
know. That's the joke.
Also, you need to add to your swear jar, pal.
Yeah, I do.
By the way,
I already dealt
Mama-
with ash
Mama-
and a child covered in it. I'm not dealing with a swear jar at this point.
okay.
At least put it on the desk.
All right. So
Well, the coins are also over there. But
Because that was
my
that
point
one was
is-
intentional.
my point is that based on the ages, he's probably not that much older than her. I would say at most 18. He got custody of the kids. And yeah, it's bad for him to say mama abandoned him, but given that he got custody of the kids, which at the time would have been hard, and given the possibility that the only option for her to not have the ability to visit her kids would be courts taking away their rights, either she did something really screwy involving drugs, or there's something in her criminal record that led to the judge thinking it was a good idea to remove her from the presence of the kids, or she actually did abandon them. And I will play devil's advocate and say it's the former, because then, yeah, she still wants to be in the kids' lives, she's just not able to. But
Yeah, my mom said in the chat, I just think she could have done something to be in touch if she really wanted to. Maybe she was messed up as a teen, but when she was in her 20s or even 30s, especially once the kids were adults, she could have done something.
That's the part that
Exactly.
really
yeah,
sticks with me more than anything about this is why did it take 40 years?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it took 40 years, which lends credence to the abandonment. Even if it's a result of judge taking away her rights, even if it's a result of that, there was no attempt there for 40 years. Hell, I'm not even sure if the attempt was there at 40 years. I wonder if it was the daughter trying to get in contact with mom and not the other way around. There's no evidence of who started this.
you know what? I just realized that we didn't touch on a thing that might have, if she lost custody of her kids, and especially if her parental rights were taken away, what it would take to do that. It basically takes for you to abuse the kid in some way.
Exactly
Yeah.
what I was getting at.
Yeah.
And yeah, and
You
like
have to be
maybe
declared unfit.
right, and that's
Yeah,
not
well,
easy.
especially-
That doesn't happen in a heartbeat.
Especially at that time. Like,
Yeah.
you could be a heroin addict and still keep your kids at that time.
Which is like so true, because there are plenty of moms who had back in those days and a little bit before that had serious drug issues and would get the kids taken away and then get the kid given back to them within a month, and it's just like, why? Not that the foster system's super great right now, but so I guess in the case of that, even if the dad was young,
I don't think the
and
foster
say
system
like
has ever
16,
been super great.
right?
Yeah, so
And
40 years
the-
ago was 84. And, like,
Yeah.
it's...
Yeah, the 80s were interesting.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So these kids are, well, sirs
Very
in
good
my
movies.
age. Oh yeah, fantastic movies. Demolition Man predicted all of our modern
Now
crap.
they'd be old.
Yeah,
They would be
Demolition
older
Man
than
was
us.
really
for
good.
sure.
if you're a mom...
They're-
that
they're-
loses
I said
your kids in
about
the
our
late
age.
80s,
Same general.
If you're a mom that loses your kids in the late 80s to early 90s, you messed up big time.
Yep.
Like,
Big
it's...
time. Like,
Yeah.
you had to have been found unsafe to be around your kids.
Yeah.
I said you literally have to be declared unfit as a parent.
Yeah.
And I have seen that how that actually results. My younger brothers who are adopted, one of them is my biological cousin, and there was enough stupid shit going on that it landed my dad's brother.
swear
Notice
jar.
my wording. Landed my dad's brother in jail.
Time out. Said the S word.
What'd I say? When?
Yeah, you
You said the S word.
It didn't even
You
register.
said there was a
to him.
lot of stupid S.
Yeah, okay.
And you've done the worst. You've done the
I've
worst
done the
today.
like I said, I
I thought
almost
I
did it
was
again.
gonna be bad. I thought I was gonna eat like at least 12 of these.
Like, it didn't even, yeah, if I said that,
I'm
it
still
didn't even
doing great.
register to me. It's just how I feel about
Oh,
that
I could
entire
tell it didn't.
situation.
Yes, Yami, we're doing a clean show today with we're trying not to swear today.
Because Mama
No,
Jables was fun.
it's Jables'
It's-
mom's
it's
birthday,
my
so...
It's my mom's birthday, so we're doing a clean show.
Oh, happy birthday, Mama Boogly. Yes, and
Yeah.
that is the perfect way to do it.
I've been a
Yeah.
very good boy this stream. I haven't said a single swear.
Anyway, it's so a bunch
messed
of
up
messed
once.
up stuff happened to the point where my dad's brother ended up in jail for abuse. Notice the wording. And then my at the time cousin and his half brother were in and out of foster care because of how the mother was treating them, to the point where the judge finally put them in foster care, and my parents went up to the judge and said, hey, while they get back on their feet and whatnot, these kids have family, they can come stay with us. And the judge literally told them, the only way you're getting these kids is if you adopt them. Well, I have 2 younger brothers, so we see how that went.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, cats, if you want us to like swear and do slurs and stuff, tune into the after show when we're off air.
And I've been bad. It didn't. It didn't even register.
Rimshee's
That last
been
one
bad,
didn't even
bad
register.
boy.
I love Katz's comment where she says, breathes in Anki. That's adorable.
Yeah.
But yeah, the fact that this woman
Yeah,
is
we're missing a lot of information.
leaving so
Yeah.
much out.
Yeah.
Now, as I said, there's a link at the bottom of this that made me very curious.
Yeah, what
Mm,
link are you talking about?
yeah, which link?
It says, Dear Abby, it's just a kid's party, but someone could be offended.
Oh.
What?
Okay. Oh.
I'm gonna guess it has something to do
It's
with
like,
some
Now
cultural
I'm
appropriation.
curious.
Yeah. I'm gonna make a prediction that it's something like a kid wanted like Moana themed birthday and it's a
Alright.
little white kid. You know what I'm saying? Something along that line.
Rimshee, I'm gonna DM you the link.
I could just click
Uh,
it.
You could just click it, or I could just DM it to you. Whatever. I don't know. I didn't know if it would also show up on for you.
It's showing up on the
this
screen, Jables.
This one's gonna be weird.
Of course it's gonna be weird.
I have to pee, so sir, take it away.
Dear Lesser Saints, I have a question about invitation etiquette. I want to invite family members and friends I haven't seen or spoken with in a long time to my children's birthday parties and special events like baptisms. However, I do not want to seem like I am soliciting gifts or money. I have heard that it is improper to request no gifts on the invitation because that assumes gifts would be given. What is proper etiquette for this? I want to see my family members, but I don't want to offend them.
I can actually understand this one. This seems like legit. I don't know.
All right. So it's her kids' party, right? Yeah, to her children's birthday party. Can't there like people that can afford to buy a present for the kids are gonna buy a present for the kids. You know what I mean? I think for the most part, like even if somebody say can't afford to get like a big gift, they at least go and get like a little $5 gift card to give to the kid. It's for the kid, you know. That's all.
Yeah.
Your presence is enough of a present for us.
Yeah,
How
especially for
old-
somebody
like,
say
How
like
how old is the kid? That's a bigger question.
it doesn't say.
Young enough that she's talking about inviting them to baptism.
All
So
right.
probably newborn.
Well, no, that's a Catholic thing. If it's not Catholic, that'd be like 11 or 12.
Fair enough.
No.
Yeah, but
Okay.
Southern Baptist tends to do it a fair bit later.
Yeah, like I think my sisters got baptized at like 14 or 15. I don't know, Mom. Fact check. me
And
on that.
Baptists make a bigger deal about it than Catholics do.
Yeah, my
Well,
sisters
that's
got
not
my
exactly
sister, one of my sisters got baptized in a hot tub.
sorry, that's funny.
No, Rimshee, I've literally seen like a Catholic priest that was like doing like baby baptisms, like he was working on an assembly line.
Oh,
It's just like,
okay.
okay,
yeah,
here's the
you're
baby.
talking about like
Dump.
that, but it's not the actual event itself isn't as important, but the fact that it happened is very important to them.
No, what I was saying is that like there's a bit more, like theater to it when it comes
Oh yeah.
to like Southern.
You
Yeah,
get a
so-
kid's pool. I'm thinking of
It's a bit more of an event.
My Big Fat Greek Wedding, where Eon gets baptized in a kiddie pool.
That's a movie I wasn't expecting to get referenced here.
So
But-
I think the ultimate solution to
girl.
this though is do no gifts necessary. That way, people that want to buy gifts
Can buy
can
gifts.
buy gifts, but people that can't afford it or whatever, they don't feel the pressure to buy a gift.
Right, they don't feel guilty. I think that's the way it should be. If it's a kid's birthday, if it's not your birthday, don't say no gifts. Because especially if it's a kid, because a kid knows on their birthday they get gifts, and I think it would hurt the kid's feelings if like no gifts appeared, like none. Just like
Yeah, and also,
grandmas are gonna go crazy and like take off their flip flop and beat the mom for saying that they can't bring a gift after like just bringing a ton of gifts and being like nobody's gonna put baby in a corner. You know what I mean? Kind of a thing. So
Also, I would just say to the person, it's like, just because like you've invited somebody to like a birthday party, it's like that's not soliciting for
Yeah.
gifts. That's don't do that to yourself. That's a weird mentality to have.
I mean, in this day and age, it seems kind of weird, but invite me to your kid's birthday party. I'll do magic tricks. I'm not gonna buy your kid a gift though, but I'll do some magic tricks.
Like the last few birthdays for my nephew, which actually he's going to be turning 3 tomorrow.
You know,
Also, little Jables, not little Jables, little Rimshee. Rimshee Jr. is going to be turning 3 on Tuesday.
really?
Yeah.
It's been that long already?
Yeah,
Wow.
3 on
Yes.
Tuesday.
blown.
Yep, so my nephew's 3 on Monday and Rimshee Jr. is 3 on Tuesday. Yeah, a lot of birthdays.
Oh my
But
goodness.
I think your mom has a good point. Just instead of inviting them to the baptism or the children's birthdays, start with a barbecue.
Yeah, those are more fun anyways. But I'm also speaking as somebody that didn't have a lot of birthday parties as a kid. Not because of my parents, it was because I was in wrestling, and wrestling season was always in the spring. My birthday's in the spring, and matches were.
Yeah, you're just busy.
Yeah, I was busy. I was busy wrestling, getting medals, and being
So
awesome.
I am reading. I just read Abby's response. Go ahead and read it, sir.
Oh, jeez.
Okay.
Is Abby gonna give a real crappy response?
Oh boy. Dear
All
Celebrate, I can't see how family members who are invited to a child's birthday party would be offended. If they want to attend, fine. If they can't, so be it. However, children's birthday parties do require some sort of gift, and it shouldn't be a hardship to provide something. Relatives and friends whose children are invited to the party will automatically bring a gift.
Nope.
No.
No. I grew up in a very poor farming community. No. All that's no.
Yeah,
What I was going to say a minute ago is that I can't afford to give my nephew birthday presents right now. But the last couple of years, I've been giving him these, you all know Precious Moments, right?
Yes. Actually, I do
Yeah.
know Precious Moments. My mom's a big collector.
So when I was a kid, like every year up until I was 6, I would be given like these Precious Moments figurines for each birthday, and they form a little train. It's like a train of zoo
time out.
animals.
Come out real quick. Mom, you're not a Precious Moments? What are those things that you collect then? Okay, sir, go ahead. I won't tell me.
But they form a train of like little zoo animals. And every year, the past couple of years, for every one of his birthdays, I've been passing down the pieces of that train that were given to me to him.
That's very sweet.
Because I want to keep it in the family.
It's very cute. I like that a lot.
Also, like he's the first one. Like he's the reason that I became an uncle. He was the first, so who knows?
Never mind.
Huh?
Yeah, no, I like that. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Never mind. It was Harmony Kingdom box. Yeah.
But yeah, like you should not feel like you need to bring a gift to something, especially like as like in my position where you just can't afford it.
Yeah, I was just the few times in like before I was a teenager that I was able to have like a birthday party, because maybe it was like a bye week on during that wrestling season. I was just happy to play Super Smash Bros with my friends. That's it. Eat some pizza.
Like
Play Super Smash Bros. You don't need to give gifts necessarily.
no, because like especially like if these are people that like you're trying to reconnect with, and you want them to be a part of your children's lives, the very best thing that they can bring to these parties is themselves. That way that your children can get to know them so that they'll remember them.
This sounds like a very upper middle class post.
And it's kind of an issue that I have with my younger brother at the moment, is that like, he's dealing with a lot of stuff, but at the same time, it's like he really makes no effort to, like, bond with our nephew and our niece. It's like, dude, these kids are not going to remember you if you don't make any attempts. You know, I can't visit them nearly as often as I would like because gas is expensive right now. But every time I do see them, I spend time with them. I make sure I spend time with them.
Yeah, I have a few aunts and uncles that I really like, and I wish I could spend more time with. But they and they didn't necessarily go out of their way to spend any time with me, but they talked to me like a person when I was a kid, and that really stuck with me.
You know, like, it's kind of the goal of everyone, even the most, like, introverted people. Everyone wants to be remembered fondly by someone.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm making effort right now with my niece to just connect with her in some way.
Yeah. So even if I don't get to see them as much as I'd like, I would like to at least, when they're older, have them look at me and be like, you know what? Uncle is all right.
Yeah.
He's a pretty chill guy.
I like being an uncle.
That's all I want.
I like being not only do I like being an uncle, I like being the cool uncle. They tell me all their dirty little secrets.
Because they think they can trust you.
Which they can.
No, they can't. No one can trust you, Jables.
I give very vague reports back to their mom. If they tell me something that, like, is concerning, then I'm like, all right, their mom needs to know about this. But nah, they're just doing regular teenage stuff. Not a big deal. At least as far as I know, from what they've told me. So yeah.
You want to take the time to read this second one? About the dog?
That's an interesting story, Yemi.
Talk about a blood party. All right.
Dear Abby, I'm a retiree with diabetes and heart trouble. My husband is disabled. I'm his sole caregiver when I have the energy to do it. Our adult daughter lives with us and works full-time in the medical field on weekends. She does practically nothing around the house. The real problem is we have 4 dogs. 2 of them are large. All 4 spend a lot of time in the house. The youngest is a puppy that already weighs 50 pounds. She's uncontrollable, jumping, biting, scratching my arms with her claws and barking. I've been a dog owner my entire life, and I have never seen another one behave like this. She's a puppy. I was against getting the puppy, but was outvoted by my husband and daughter. Of course, as soon as the novelty wore off, it became my responsibility to feed her, clean up her house training messes, and take care of her. I have begged my daughter to get her trained, as she promised, but she always has an excuse. I'm exhausted. I'm ready to say it's the dog or me, but I have nowhere else to go. My husband is barely mobile and is often confined to his bed We have home health care, we had home health care last year, but that ended when Medicare would no longer pay. I can barely take care of him and do everything that must be done. The dog is just too much. Help.
Kill the dog.
Okay.
Well, old
let's try
Yeller.
more rational.
Okay, so there's several routes that okay. Other than killing the dog, there's several other routes you can go.
Like killing your husband.
It's also an option. We're that's worse than killing the dog.
Lesser Saints of Discord does not endorse insurance fraud.
For legal reasons, that's a joke. For legal reasons, that's a joke.
We do endorse insurance fraud.
For legal reasons, that's a joke. For legal reasons, that's a joke.
All right. So several things you can do. You can slap the crap out of your daughter. I don't know. I would say since your daughter lives with you and she keeps saying that she's going to take the puppy to some sort of training thing, give her an ultimatum. Either train the dog or get out.
Yeah.
Sounds like she's only working on the weekends. So, what else is she doing? You could go the super passive aggressive route and just stop taking care of all of these house training messes and whatnot. Just say it's not my job. And just let them see how bad it gets. And then maybe one of them will take it up. But then when one of them does take it up, help them with it.
Well, it sounds like the only one that can take it up is the daughter.
Yeah.
Because she
The husband
makes
has
it pretty clear that the husband is just about immobile.
Yeah. Bedridden. Yeah. So
It doesn't say he's a veteran, it says he's disabled. But that's also irrelevant.
Who said veteran?
I thought I heard Jables say veteran.
He said bedridden.
Oh!
yeah.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah, daughter doesn't really help around the house. Well, I'm saying,
Like,
did you say the daughter doesn't really help around the house? If so, daughter needs to get her own place and take the puppy with her. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's fair. Whenever I visit my parents, I make my imprint so small that I don't have to help around that. I don't leave any trash anywhere. I don't upset anything. I sit in a lawn chair outside and chain smoke cigarettes and drink some beer.
I think the worst thing I do is I leave my dirty plate on the counter because that's where my parents tell me to put it.
Let's see what Abby has to say on this matter.
Abby,
I
probably
know
has-
you are exhausted, but enough is enough. For the sake of your own health, summon the strength to assert yourself. Is your daughter paying for her food and rent? If not, give her a list of chores you expect her to do, including starting dog training classes with the animal she insisted become a member of the household. If she refuses, contact Animal Rescue Group to find a new home, then follow through. P.S. A large undisciplined dog could cause you or your husband to trip and fall. No, it won't cause her husband to trip or fall.
No.
It could cause-
this PS is
her, though.
This PS is pussy S. It's BS. This PS is BS.
Yeah. But anyway, let's read it how it should have read if she had actually read the letter. Ooh, almost. A large, undisciplined dog could cause you to trip and fall, and the results could be catastrophic. If your daughter decides to leave, she can take her canine wrecking ball with her. Problem solved. Yeah, the husband is not gonna trip over a dog that he can't even get out of bed.
He's semi-mobile. He might be able to like walk to the bathroom and back. That's about it.
It is a legitimate. No, like Abby's not. It is a legitimate risk for the person that sent the question in, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because as she said that she's a retiree, which means that she's probably older, and she mentions that she has diabetes. You really
and
don't
heart
want to
trouble.
have a fall. But
And
yeah, like
heart
you really
trouble.
don't want to have a fall as an older person if you're diabetic.
Well, if you're an older person and diabetic and you have a fall in like a Walmart lawsuit, baby, money.
Yeah, okay, so
money.
it says the husband is barely mobile and often confined to his bed.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, he might be able to get up and go to the restroom, or he might be able to get up to hop onto his wheelchair or something like that. But that's the extent of his mobility.
You know?
Yeah, I'm
Like-
assuming mobility is like out of bed to restroom and back.
I have
If
to keep
that.
an eye on my dog. Like I had to just earlier today because I went grocery shopping with my mom and we had to stop at the house. And he usually calms down pretty quickly, but when people initially come over, he gets very excited. And sometimes he'll jump. And the thing is, like, I had to get on him about this, especially like with my mom, because my mom's a cancer patient and she's not very steady on her feet.
Yeah.
And he weighs about 55 pounds. He could easily knock her over.
Yeah.
And
Also,
like, that's with a dog
just,
that like is just excitable, not out of control.
Also, there's just one thing that I think is a little weird in terms of how she worded some of this. Our adult daughter lives with us and works full-time in the medical field, but only on weekends? How do you work full-time and only on weekends? So I think she works full-time, but that includes the weekends. And the medical field depends on what she is. If she's a nurse, then she's probably busy working all the time.
That sounds more like ER type stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, if you work in ER, like even if you're working full time, you can get called in. But
Technically,
Yeah.
full time
Point.
is 32 hours a week, so she might be pulling like 24 hours.
Full-time's 40, yeah, maybe it's 32. But still, if you're in the medical field and you're working full-time, you're not doing the bare minimum.
In my state, full time is considered 32 hours a week, and I
Yeah, that
know
might
that
be-
because when I worked at Walmart, if they were consistently scheduling you for about 32 hours, then they had to make you full time, give you a pay bump, and then start giving you at least 35 hours.
Well, shift work like that's also a little bit different.
It is a bit different, and working in the
well,
medical field
all I mean is that-
also different because you could be working a 24-hour long shift, but you have like some nap breaks.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm not saying that I'm just saying that the retail like that, shift work like that's a little bit different, given that it's all what they schedule you for, so a little more flexibility in what the hours are makes some sense. Medical field, like you said, it could be a 24-hour shift, and then you get some naps. You still have sleep, but you have to be able to be up and ready to go at a moment's notice.
Yeah.
But you're not gonna
sleep
do
in
that
shifts. It's kinda
only
like the
2
military.
days a week either.
Yeah, that doesn't seem plausible.
So my guess is, like, even if you're doing 24-hour shifts, you're probably doing maybe 1 or 2 24-hour shifts a week, and then you've got a bunch of 8 to 12-hour shifts on the other days of the week, and you might have a day or two off. And even then, like we were saying, you could still be called in. As a nurse, especially as a doctor, even more so as a specialist, you could get called in.
I'm sorry, I'm just remembering like a time theft thing that my roommate did. He worked at a different Walmart. And under Walmart's rules, you could clock in 10 minutes early, clock out 10 minutes late. And you had to take a minimum of a 30-minute lunch if you were working an 8-hour shift. So he was getting 50 minutes every day by clocking in 10 minutes early, clocking out 10 minutes late, and only taking a half-hour lunch. He was able to pull that off for like 6 months, and then his manager was just like, "Hey, you need to stop that." No, the only thing I miss about working at Walmart is the 1-hour lunch.
Yeah. Only having a half-hour lunch can kind of suck, but it gets me home sooner, so I don't hate it.
And also, it's within Walmart's guidelines. When you go out for lunch, you can have a beer or a mixed drink.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
But if you get caught with it, you're in trouble.
No, it's within the handbook. You are allowed to have a beer or a mixed drink during your lunch break.
Oh, I'm sure it's in the handbook.
Yeah. But who knows the difference between 1 or 2, you know?
Well, they're gonna make the claim that you must have had more than one if you're all of a sudden sloppy. Which some people are. After only one.
Not me, I'm a pro. All right, I think this is a good time to end the show.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
I gotta go wash
Thank you,
off
everybody,
the
for joining us.
ashen
Thank
child
you,
now.
Mom. Yeah. Thanks, Mom, for popping in on your birthday. I hope you enjoyed our attempted clean show. I know there were a couple slip-ups.
I was the
but-
worst one at it.
Yes, you were.
I will blame this thing right here.
Yes, many happy returns, Mama Jables.
Yeah. I'm surprised I only slipped up once, honestly.
I only remember slipping up twice. I came close a couple of times, I know that much.
Yeah. All right, everybody have a good night. We'll be back same time, same place. Right here on Twitch, Lesser Saints of Discord. Follow me on Twitter at James Googly. Blah 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 blah. Y'all know the stuff. I know who's watching right now.
Night to those who
Bye
it's night
bye,
for.
everybody.
Otherwise, bye bye.
I gotta sing the doom song now. Doom, 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 doom,